Expecting a little bundle of joy? Are you ready to be a mommy? I'm sure you have many questions. And today I'm bringing you with part one of a two-part series here with two representatives with Healthy Start Coalition of Okaloosa, Walton County. And I'd like to welcome you all here on Insight, and I'm your host, Valerie Bogar. Well, thank you ladies for coming on the show. And first off, I need you guys to introduce yourselves. Can we start with you, please?
Yeah, my name is Gina Baker, and I'm a supervisor and care coordinator for Healthy Start in Okaloosa County.
Well, welcome, Gina.
Thank you.
All right.
My name's Ardell Bush, and I am with the Healthy Start Coalition of Okaloosa and Walton counties, and I've been with Healthy Start for 17 years.
Excellent. Well, I heard a lot about Healthy Start, and I actually learned that I didn't know there was so many things that you guys did. And so when I learned more about the stuff that you had and all your information, I was looking at the website, I was like, oh my gosh, I think we need to make this a two-parter, because there's not enough, time to do it. So I'm really excited that you're going to join us for two shows. So first though, Ms. Bush, can you please tell us a little bit about what is Healthy Start and just a little bit of a background of that?
Okay, thank you for asking, Valerie. Healthy Start was brought into legislation in 1991 under Governor Lawton Childs. And currently there are 31 Healthy Start coalitions to take care of all 67 counties here in the state of Florida. And as we mentioned, our coalition takes care of both Okaloosa and Walton counties. And each year we welcome close to 3,500 babies each year. And every single one of those babies are very important to us.
Oh man, I bet. That's a lot of babies. Every year, you said?
Every year.
And then you said it's all over Florida, because this show also airs in Escambia County, so there's also one that's a Healthy Start in Escambia County.
In the panhandle here, there is the Healthy Start Coalition of Escambia, Healthy Start Coalition of Santa Rosa, then Okaloosa, Walton, and then Bay, Franklin, and Gulf.
Okay, excellent. So just in case there's any viewers that's from that area, they can know, okay, there's one in our area as well. And then can you please tell me a little bit about what you do with Healthy Start and how you got started?
Well, sure. Well, with Healthy Start, we're primarily a home visiting program. We're an educational program. So we often meet clients in their home, though sometimes they come to our office, or we can meet them in the community like Starbucks or McDonald's or places that we sometimes meet them. But we give all kinds of education, especially with first-time moms. It can be overwhelming and stressful when you think, I'm going to be responsible for this little baby. And so we will talk to you about all sorts of things about your pregnancy. For instance, the morning sickness that arises is a common thing that women want to talk about, or swelling. There's medical conditions sometimes that arise, like gestational diabetes or preeclampsia. But we will do breastfeeding education, is very popular. Childbirth, I have never met a woman that was not nervous about giving birth to her baby, and so women really want to know about that. We will also teach them how to take care of their baby, SIDS risk reduction, postpartum issues like baby blues, so all kinds of things like that. We also will help them link with resources and just kind of provide some general counseling support.
Wow, that is a lot.
It's a lot.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure a lot of, I have a lot of friends who are pregnant too, so I'm sure they would be like, wow, that's useful information, and have no idea. So let's start with one of the programs. I know you have many, and so let's start with how about mom care. So what exactly is mom care?
Okay, well, Mom Care is a service that we have for our moms who have newly signed up with Medicaid. And so when they do, they get a call from our Mom Care advisor, and she just checks in with them. She wants to make sure that they're getting all the services that they need, and they kind of know all of those steps that they need to go through. For instance, we have two insurance plans that they choose from with pregnancy Medicaid. So she will tell them about that and the contact information to get signed up with one of those plans. She'll remind them about WIC and encourage them to get on that program. It's really important. If you qualify for Medicaid, you qualify for WIC. We tell them about our Healthy Start services, and especially we talk to them about how important prenatal care is. If they want a female doctor, or they want a doctor in a certain location, we're going to give them a list of those doctors.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that's what Mom Care primarily is.
And then you said they can sign up for WIC. So does that mean too, because I know some of them may be interested in breastfeeding, and then I know some insurances do have breast pumps and stuff, so would they be able to qualify for that?
Yes, yes they will. And WIC, they do rent breast pumps.
Okay.
And so sometimes they can get it through their insurance company, but if not, they can always go through WIC as well.
Oh, okay. And do you know what kinds it is? Is it like manual or electric, or?
They have both.
Oh, they have both?
They
Oh,
have
okay.
both, and depending on your needs, they'll help you to decide which breast pump is best for you.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. So I'm sure a lot of people didn't know you have like a choice, between the two. So that's really neat. And then Miss Bush, can you tell me a little bit about like the world's greatest baby shower? I've seen billboards every year of it, but maybe not everybody knows all about that.
Well, it is a tradition here in Okaloosa and Walton counties, this event, and a lot of people look forward to it. The world's greatest baby shower always takes place the Thursday before Memorial Day.
Okay.
And we host it at the Emerald Coast Convention Center. We will have close to 50 vendors each year with a variety of information, things pertaining to parenting, pregnancy, businesses that women can do from home, photography. It's just a very, very big celebration for all of our newest and tiniest citizens that come into both of our counties. We do give away close to $3,000 worth of gifts.
Wow.
There are games that we play. It's in the vein of a true baby shower. Nobody leaves empty-handed. We have wonderful sponsors within our community that helps us put on this event each year. And I just welcome everybody to come this year in 2016. The event will be on May 26th. And it's from 5:30 to 8 o'clock.
Oh, excellent. And then who are actually able to be part of the baby shower?
Oh, it's a great question. We invite all women who are pregnant and those who have had a baby in the last 3 months. So it encompasses 1 year of pregnancy. I always tell people this is a great time. If you think that you'd want to be a vendor at this event, you can give us a call at 833-9284 and get me your information, and we would love to have you as a vendor.
Well, that's a brilliant idea. And so, like, usually how many women? I bet it's really, packed, especially located there. So do you know about how many people usually are expected?
Yes, this is the interesting part, because the Emerald Coast Convention Center tells us that we're one of their largest events that they host each year. We will have close to 500 women sign in and come through the door, and each of them bring 2.5 guests with them apiece.
Wow.
So we have close to 1,500 people who come through the door in about a 3-hour period. It is very lively.
That is a lot of people. So I'm sure they bring, because some of them have children themselves, and they bring in, so just a whole bunch of.
And we try to make things interesting for the young kids that are there as well. We have photo booths, we have lots of little gifts for the youngsters that come along, and things for the grandparents that do attend with their pregnant daughter or daughter-in-laws.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. Thank you for asking.
And then those that are listening, and then they happen to be a little late, so by the time that it's time, let's say that they their baby's like 4 months or 5 months, is there anything special for them if they were too late to come in for the last one?
Well, that's a good question, because we do have to have a cutoff point, because otherwise, as I told you, we do have a lot of people who come through the door, and it can get out of control if we do extend things. But what I do encourage people to do is give us a call, and I will definitely give them an event bag full of all information and a lot of things that everybody else will get at the event.
Okay, excellent. Just in case there's any viewers, there's like, oh man,
I missed it.
Yeah. So that's really excellent that at least you have some kind of information on that one. And then what's some other programs that you guys have that you really want to express to the viewers that you have?
Well, one good thing that we have with Healthy Start is we host a car seat safety class every month. And so in Okaloosa County, we have it 1 month up in Crestview and 1 month down in Fort Walton, so that it's easier for clients to get to.
Right.
But we do have a certified car seat safety technician that comes and teaches that class. The class lasts about an hour. Now, at the end of the class, she does have brand new car seats that can be obtained for a low cost. So it helps the clients when they're buying all of those baby things that are so expensive. The car seat is kind of a big item. But you can't have a used car seat. You do need a brand new one. And so she teaches the class. What she tells us is that most clients don't use a car seat correctly, and so she goes over all of that, all of the laws, and then she will also go out to your car at the end of the class and install the car seat in your car to show how it goes in properly. And so that is probably one of our favorite things about the program that clients really like, is that car seat class.
And I actually attended the car seat class, and I was actually shocked at I didn't know there was so much going into a car seat and how to be installed and stuff like that. So I was surprised she was giving the statistics. She's like, you're saying that, I think she's like 90% of car seats aren't installed correctly. I was like, that's a lot. So a lot of people don't know, and so she was teaching like techniques just in case it was a little off in size, because you have to think about even your car, like how to position it, because all cars are different, and even the and so she's like, oh, you can roll up, or she said like a little swim noodle. She had like these cute little techniques, and I'm like, I didn't know about that. But it was kind of cool, and even like the where it's supposed to be located when they have the latch over for the baby and stuff. So that's really important. A lot of people didn't know. I actually went up telling my friends, they're like, really? And so, because I think it was like $15, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so my friends were like, what? So they were kind of surprised. So that's really interesting. So you do every other month in for Walton, and then the other months in Crestview, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And then who is able to go to those classes? For anybody, really? Or?
Yeah, all of our Healthy Start clients can go, and then sometimes other women will come as well to the class. Mostly it's the Healthy Start clients.
Oh, okay, that's excellent.
Yeah.
I was just going to add, though, that we do post the class dates and times on our website and also on our Facebook page.
That's good. So I think a lot of people really need to know about that one. So just make sure that you go on their Facebook. What is your Facebook page, just in case anybody?
It's a Healthy Start Coalition of Okaloosa and Walton counties.
Okay.
And then our website is healthystartokawalton.org.
And a lot of people also don't know is it used to be where the fire department and the police department used to do it for free as a free service to show how to put the car seats, and they don't do that here anymore. So this is very, very important. If you're interested, even if you have grandmas to be who's going to be carrying the baby around, so they probably need to come to the class as well. So I think it's anybody who's going to be carrying a little one. It's really, really important. All right, so we're actually out of time for our first half. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more, because there's so much more to talk about, like SIDS, and then the other ones about secondhand smoking and the dangers of that. So we're going to actually cover that and then review what we talked about. So when we come back, we're going to go over some more stuff, interesting stuff that goes on with Healthy Start here on Insight.
Dudes, what would happen if this guy played a bully and this one played the new kid? Bullying is unpredictable, and depending on how you react, you never know what kind of result you'll get.
New kid should just calmly walk away, find an adult or teacher, and speak up.
Together, we can all stop bullying. Speak up.
Go to stopbullying.speakup.com to find out more.
This PSA brought to you in part by the Cox Southeast Region Diversity Council and Cox Communications.
That's low. Look, he's blushing.
As a business owner, you know you need to stand out, highlighting what makes you unique. Cox Media understands that, so when it's time to get creative, to match message to image, where do you start? The Cox Media Creative Department helps translate your business strategy into creative strategy. Words, pictures, the whole show. We do compelling campaigns for video, the web, even video on the web. Be heard and be remembered. Let Cox Media customize a creative campaign for you.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
And and we're back here on Insight, and I'm your host, Valerie Bogar, and I'm joined with two special guests, Gina and Ardell, and they're here with Healthy Start Coalition, and we talked all about what the organization does with helping women who are like new mommies or mommies to be and stuff like that, and what you guys do to help prepare them because it's very scary, and so help them, at least ease their nerves a little bit. So we talked all about the world's greatest baby shower, which you have apparently a whole lot of people there, like 500 moms a year, plus their guests. That's a lot of people. And then plus we talked about the car seat class. It's free. Then they get a $15 car seat. It's a pretty nice one, brand new one. And we talked about the importance of a little bit about car seats and why it's very important that it's installed safe, and then you get new ones and not old ones because you never know where they come from. So we already covered a whole lot of stuff, and we have a lot more to cover. So let's go ahead and get started. So I think we're left off with SIDS. So Gina, I think I brushed on a little bit that we're going to go ahead and talk about that. Exactly what is that, and then and what your organization does to try to prevent it.
Okay, well, SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome, and we have an unexplained infant death in the first year. And what we like to do with our clients is just make sure that they know ways to try to prevent SIDS from happening. And so one of the big pieces of information they need to know, and this changes sometimes from generations past, which can be an issue for some of our clients, because one of the biggest things to do is to put your baby on his or her back to sleep. Now, when I had my babies 15, 20 years ago, we were supposed to put them on their side. Sometimes grandmothers may say you need to put that baby down on that baby's tummy. And so it's very important that they know that actually what the research shows is that when you put your baby down on his or her back to sleep, your baby is much safer. There's a couple of other things though as well. It's very important not to overheat your baby. And you will often see babies that are just wrapped up in blankets really tightly. And babies can get overheated that way. As a matter of fact, when you put your baby down to sleep, there shouldn't be any blankets in the crib. There shouldn't be any stuffed animals. There shouldn't be any baby bumpers. Just your baby in one of those sleep sacks, perhaps, is a really good way to do it so that your baby is warm, but no blankets. What we've also found out is that the use of a pacifier can also reduce the risk of SIDS. Now, if you're a breastfeeding mom, we're going to tell you let's not use that pacifier for 4 weeks because we want to make sure that your milk supply gets established. But after that, a pacifier is a great idea to help reduce SIDS. So all of those things are very important.
Oh, I never heard that. I didn't know that. And then I had a question too with the bumpers. I've seen, I know certainly like moms are, doing their registry and stuff. And some notice that there's a mesh. It's different. It's thinner. What do you think, or have you seen those? You know what I'm talking about? They're like really thin mesh,
That goes around the outside of the crib? Yeah, no, nothing.
Okay.
It should just be the crib, your mattress, the fitted sheet, and that's the only thing that goes in that crib besides baby.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because, a lot of times people they see, when they're about to buy something, they're like, oh, yeah, this is good. And, like the manufacturer says, like, it's safe or whatever.
Right.
So it's really good that you're like, no, this is what you recommend. So you say, what about swaddling? Is that one okay if you don't have the little, I don't know what you call it, but the little thing that you put the baby in? But is swaddling okay for?
Well, no, you're really not supposed to use the blanket at all. It really is best just to dress baby warmly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, but no blankets. Now, we definitely will recommend swaddling, when you're holding the baby, and it's good to see the crying baby, but we don't want that blanket in the crib.
Oh, wow. So swaddling good when they're awake or when you're holding it.
Yes.
Okay, that's really interesting. A lot of people don't know that. So Miss Bush, there's another one that you have that you really strict on, and I think it's really, really important that parents know about this one, and that's when it comes with smoking. I know a lot of times, I know I was raised in the generation on like definitely the grilling us like don't smoke or blah, blah, blah. So, but they still have these issues. They don't have any advertising and stuff like that, but they still have people who smoke. So what does your organization do for parents who still have smoking or how to reduce it, or if they have family members that come in? So do you have a program for that?
Well, that's a great question, Valerie, because this is one of our our top topics that we try to address throughout our county, because we have twice the state average of women smoking during pregnancy here in both Okaloosa and Walton counties as opposed to the state average.
Wow.
So currently we have about 12% of the women here in Okaloosa and Walton counties who smoke during pregnancy. And what we try to do to reduce that is that we work with the Area Health Education Council. They have free classes and nicotine replacement aids and whatnot to help women and their family members to quit smoking. We have those classes posted on our website. But like you said, you have the first-hand smoke, which is the woman smoking during pregnancy. You have second-hand smoke, which is, let's say, the baby is born, they're in the house, and people are smoking within the house. That is still very, very bad for the baby because they're inhaling all the carcinogens and whatnot. But again, even if you step out and have your cigarette, we call it third-hand smoke, and that's when you come in with it on your clothing and everything, and then you're cuddling your baby and rocking your baby, and the baby is still taking in those poisons from the cigarettes. So we strongly encourage no smoking whatsoever, and it'll help with SIDS. It'll help with ear infections if you do not smoke. Smoking in the house can promote a lot of health issues.
Yes, and we do provide tobacco cessation counseling with our clients. We have a program called Script that's actually used all around the world, and we've been trained in that. And so if a mom is smoking, whether she wants to quit, if she's willing to cut back, anything, we will work with her on that. And so we go out, we have a video and a workbook that's kind of a support to her, but we actually talk to her about ways to trick her brain into not having those cravings. Smoking is one of the hardest addictions to overcome, and we understand that. So we don't come in with a lot of judgment. We understand it's difficult, but if she really wants to try to cut back on that smoking, then we're going to do everything we can to support her in that.
That's good, and I'm glad that you're like really supportive. Like, I've never smoked or whatever, so I don't know what it's like to be the addiction, but I do know what it's like to be addicted to chocolate.
Yes.
And if someone said I can no longer have chocolate anymore, I don't know what I would do. Like, seriously. So, you know, on that point, I understand the difficulty. So it's good that you're really, you know, supportive of women, you know, trying to help them and not be too judgmental. I think that's what some people are afraid of. Like, oh, you're just gonna, you know, hound me or
it's
whatever.
True,
so.
And they're so stressed. Very often our clients have a lot of stress in their lives, and of course when they're stressed, that makes them want to smoke more. And so that's another reason it's just kind of helpful for us to go out, because when we give that general counseling support. We're somebody that shows up and can listen, you know, what is going on, what are you worrying about, what are you afraid about, is it bills, is it relationships, and we talk to them about those kind of things. That also can help them stop smoking, just knowing that somebody cares. Somebody's showing up and talking to them and just wants to be supportive of that.
And that's good that you mentioned the third-hand smoke. I don't know, everybody heard of second-hand smoke, but not really third-hand smoke. So I know that even includes, like, if you go into an environment, like if they happen to go, like, especially like clubs and stuff or whatever, and then you smell, and then it gets on your clothes and your hair. So then you don't think about that, and then, you know, you're holding your baby, and then they, you know, and I never really heard about that, so that's kind of cool that you mentioned. And there's different places that still have, you know, where you're smoking, and even though you may not smoke, but you be around someone or your friends. So do you have like suggestions on what to say nicely? Just like, don't do that around me, or?
Well, you know what I tell my moms is, you're a mom now, and it's time that you get really firm. It's time for you to protect your child. And so you can be polite about it, but you also say, this is dangerous for my baby. I can't have my baby breathing in any secondhand smoke, because it can give them a respiratory infection. Most people are going to understand that and say, oh, I'm so sorry, and they're willing to move away. It can be really difficult when there's smokers in the family. I will have my clients say, well, but my mom smokes and I can't be rude to her. But I'll say, you're an adult now, and you're a mom now, and you need to stand up for your baby and just go ahead and be proactive in that.
That's good. I think that's a good way to say it. And it is difficult, but it's cool that you give suggestions for, women and stuff. Is there anything else that you want to add that that Healthy Start does for in the community? I think we talked about like the safe sleep. We talked for the SIDS, and then we talked about for smoking and stuff. So do you have any other? I know you have lots of programs on what Healthy Start does for the community.
Right. Well, the one thing that we do have is these wonderful care coordinators. And it's like having a personal assistant while you're pregnant to come in and answer any questions that you want. And I'd like to tell people how you can become a Healthy Start client. And one of those ways is, number one, you will be offered a Healthy Start screen at your OBGYN. And at the Labor and Delivery Hospital, we always say yes, because we are a voluntary program. If our care coordinators call you and you don't want their services at that time, you can always say no. But I'll tell you what, when I was pregnant, I was nervous, and right after I had my babies, I was nervous. And if I had somebody like Gina knock on the door and say, hey, can I answer any questions for you? I would have been like, get in here right now. What's going on with that umbilical cord? What's going on? Help me. I believe our care coordinators are true heroes out there. And this is a free service to anybody. They will help you and put you in contact with all resources in our community that help moms, families, and dads along the way during this journey of parenting. So that's one of the things I wanted to say. Oh, and you can call and refer yourself at any time to be a client.
Oh, okay. I love how you mentioned about like how you have someone to call, because I know especially, you try to tell that to kids all the time. It's like, if you need help, go ask, but for adults, you're like, well, who am I supposed to get, help? I have this question. Who do I ask, So it's kind of cool that you have a service, and I'm sure you've had some nutty questions, some weird ones, some out of the blue. And speaking of which, because we don't have much time for this show, but when we come in for our next show, until then, we actually provide information. You guys, if you have questions, so what we're going to do is, if you have a question, you can go ahead and email us at insighttelevision@yahoo.com, and then we'll go ahead and send it to these ladies, and then they're going to actually answer your questions. So on the next show, we're going to answer those questions, because I'm sure they're thinking about it right now, going, you know what, I have a lot of questions. Right. And then, because I have a few, actually. I have some, some really wacky ones, but I have some questions that I would like to know about what you guys, and what to do, and was like, what's going on with my body, because that's the other strange thing about pregnancies. I don't know, you just turn into something else. I don't know what your body does. So that's kind of cool. So before we go, is there any lasting contacts, information that you want to say, or how people can, contact you if they're interested in being a client?
Well, they can call either of our offices. In Crestview, the number is 850-683-5002. And the number in Fort Walton, do you know the number in Fort Walton?
I do. I can look right here for you.
Okay, great.
The number in Fort Walton is 833-3703. And let's not forget our Walton County folks over there. They can contact 892-8015, extension 1178 in Walton County.
All right. Thank you, ladies. And thank you for watching Insight. And remember, go ahead and email us those questions if you have a question about pregnancy. Thank you for watching.